What's going on, everybody? Oh, wow. Last minute, last minute right here. I decided to change my audio settings so I could record for the podcast. People that can't watch videos, while they're driving. There's a lot of YouTubers that I wish they would do that because it would save me some data. And yeah, as long as you give a description of what you're looking at, I can imagine type of deal. So, all right, uh, guys and girls and everybody else, time is running out. We've uh, we've had our chance to purchase. I say by the end of this month, so next month, you're not gonna be able to afford Bitcoin or XRP. You've had your chance. Uh, Let me explain to you why. Okay, this just 3 months, guys, for Bitcoin. So say you had, I use my parents for example. I finally got them to purchase some crypto. Not much, but they could have bought more. Heck, they could have probably bought, say, we'll say half a Bitcoin at this price, $4,000. Just with cash they're willing to put down. But they did about, a lot less than that. Anyways, the point is, that was in March. Okay? In April, that's up 1,000. In May, it's up 1,000. Let's go to June. And now we're up 2,600. July is not even here. And we keep hitting 11,000. Back's not even live. We keep hitting 11,000. You see that? That half a Bitcoin purchase, or even if you did $200, would have value would have doubled here, and you're on to another one here. Couple, but people keep waiting. I know people have other stuff to spend money on, so if you can't, I understand. But if you have the money, the future of money. It's definitely not sticks and stones. They might back something off of physical, like gold, but it's going to be digital. We're not going to be sending, handing gold over to the cash register or anything like that. There's not even cashiers any days. So you can already see there's not going to be any type of human action on that part. So just over 3 months, 4 to 11. Okay? So you see how quick it can move. And now you can't go back. You can't go back to 4. It's never going to go back to 4, I don't think. I don't even think it will go under 10. Okay. So this is for the Ripple, the maximalist on both sides. Because a lot of people are just on one side or the other. I don't know why there's such a divide and separation. Because realistically, it's going to have to be like a yin and yang type of relationship for the future. Just because I'll paint you a future. Say we went to 100% Bitcoin, not even Bitcoin, Monero, and that means pretty much the banks wouldn't exist. Maybe even government wouldn't exist, because how would they be able to tax a privacy coin? Just think this out. Eventually, because people are people, they normally seems like they aren't happy with what they have, so they steal from each other, kill to get it, and then you could either, I guess, enforce your own beliefs and go after them, or you have a central type of authority. This is where it's like you gotta have a balance. Anyways, you get the balance in the central authority, creates some type of system. So you get freedom on one side, structure on the other. Put them together, you get something decent. One or the other, unbalanced on either side, is where you get trouble. Either one. So, uh, Brad Garlinghouse for the XRP people and for the Bitcoin people. Right here. Where did he say it? He says, I own Bitcoin and I am long Bitcoin. And I don't think there will be one crypto to rule them all. And you could even replace the idea of crypto with power, because money is power. And the more money you put into these cryptocurrencies, the more powerful they get. Bitcoin, XRP can all. He thinks it's a store of value. People hold it. It's not. It could do a lot more than that, but this is what he's saying. This is the XRP, Ripple CEO. I know y'all get so upset about the two. But anyways, if this is something he can come out and say, then maybe you should realize you can have both. And for the Bitcoin people, realize we do without with any structure, then usually goes to some type of chaos type of deal. So let's work towards a medium, because I think the ultimate chaos births Libra, Facebook coin, and I know everybody knows in the back of their head they don't want Libra running their life, banning them for something they said, something they thought. Who knows? They might be able to figure out what you're thinking. Go to AI. The point is we can get two separate entities and make a better future, rather than betting on just one and ending up with Libra running it all. So, why do we need a time machine? Well, I just showed you with Bitcoin over a 3-month period. And the same with XRP. Not as big of gains, but from 30 cents to 48 it hit top. 30 to 48. It's not bad. But you remember the all-time high was around $3. Okay, so they're signing all these contracts with MoneyGram, banks, SBI. You probably, I think you have a month or less than a month. That's why I've been buying up more, as much as I can. You have, before they go live, once they go live, they're going to be using XRP for on-demand liquidity to replace their Nostro, Vostro accounts. To send money across the world. What do you think is going to happen to the price when the utility sets in? See, Bitcoin is gaining value because people are holding it. And they don't even have to use it. As long as you hold it, it gains value. So if people and banks and people are using, there's a lot of these new companies popping up, SendFriend and others, and say MoneyGram, they start using XRP, which they're supposed to be doing very shortly. This price is going to jump out of the reach of a lot of people very soon. So say right now you hold 100 coins, and then they go to $2-3, you're going to be able to afford to buy 100 again. Then it goes up to $10. You're probably not going to be able to afford 100 then, if you could barely get it then. So, point is that it's about to be out of a lot of people's reach. This is your only chance to accumulate and hold. It will gain value that way also, just like Bitcoin. But it's really like on the brink of hyper utilization, and then you're not going to be able to afford it if you short it. Kind of already talked about this before, but it's close. We're closer to that time than my last stream I did. They're not just making all these partnerships and getting people to utilize XRP for nothing. Let's watch this.
What has happened, you think, over the last, let's call it 3 months, and then, of course, the last 2 or
3 months. It's like he took the words out of my mouth. I've never watched this before, by the way.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. You know, back in December when the market really bottomed, we started to see long-term kind of conviction investors begin to build significant positions in the kind of core digital assets. And that kind of gradually unfolded into, you know, Q2, where people kind of declared the crypto spring arriving. And really, I think what was happening was the sort of fundamentals of the technology have been advancing really, really rapidly. There's a broader understanding of crypto assets as an asset class. People could see that there were more retail and institutional platforms and regulatory framework coming into place. And then, you know, ultimately anticipation that these sort of next generation blockchains, including what we heard about last week with the Libra Association, you know, kind of really as indicators of what is ultimately going to be a massive mainstream phenomenon touching billions of people.
Okay, but Jeremy, explain this to me. Until and unless you tell me that there's going to be a true chain of custody and a true almost insurance program on Bitcoin, not on Libra or any of these other currencies, it is unclear to me how and when Bitcoin becomes this sort of universal adoption. And I look at Libra, and I get the idea of all of these electronic wallets that'll get created by anybody who's got a Facebook account. I get that. But if that wallet doesn't allow me to keep Bitcoin or other like currencies in it, I don't really get this sort of mass adoption idea from it. And I'm not suggesting I'm a complete skeptic. I actually think Bitcoin's a fascinating and a very interesting phenomena, and may very well take over eventually. But I don't see what you're seeing at this moment.
Well, you have to really differentiate between a couple of things. There are many different types of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. You have sort of these stable coins, which
Right.
Libra is an example of. U.S. dollar coin, which Circle and Coinbase issue, is another very prominent stable coin. Instead of a basket of currencies, it's a U.S. dollar coin. Then you have non-sovereign digital currencies, and there are quite a few. And obviously, the kind of dominant one is Bitcoin. And I think our view is that ultimately, end users, individuals, institutions are going to have.
Do you notice they have a Ripple on here?
Kind of crypto finance accounts where they're able to hold lots of these different types of digital assets, and they're going to be able to send and receive all of them. It's not going to be a winner-takes-all model. Now, for sort of everyday payments that you need to denominate in your salaried currency or where you pay your taxes, we think that fiat or government-issued money based cryptocurrencies are going to grow in popularity. Governments are going to figure out ways to regulate the issuers of those, which is already happening. But at the same time, the Bitcoin thesis is very much that we are going to see continued growth in non-sovereign money.
Right.
And non-sovereign money is going to become more important, not less important, and that more people around the world are going to see the value of a censorship-resistant, highly secure digital asset such as Bitcoin.
You guys see that?
Well, I think
You just explained the main use case. It helps. Bitcoin helps the balance. Right now, we're obviously moving towards the opposite of balance. If you just turn on the TV, you can see that. So 46 cents, guys, you're running out of time. You're not going to get a time machine. You'll be able to come back to this price. As I'm thinking next month, by the end of this month, G20, we're going to see huge gains and huge announcements. Huge announcements. So you can only lead a horse to water, but you can't get them to drink. And there's only so many times they can just try to get this through people's heads. So stop selling. Get more if you can. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. But, I mean, the worst that could happen is you lose 46 cents. If it went to zero, which will never happen. The worst that could happen if it goes down. The worst that could happen if you don't buy and hold. You lost out on $10, $100, $1,000 XRP. Because they're going to build it. That's what I see happening. The price is going to go up when all these people get onboarded. And then I think they're going to hit a stable, high price. Maybe around there. 100,000, something like that. Just to make it easier for everybody. And it won't be fluctuating because nobody's going to be being able to afford to raise the price like right now. So last chance, get on the train before it's pulling out. And you're not going to wish that you could. I know there's so many people, even me. I wish I could go back in time. I'd buy a lot more Bitcoin when it first came out. Then I wouldn't even be doing this. Maybe. I don't know. I might be still passionate about it. But the point is that I wouldn't need to do it. I wouldn't feel a need to do it. Yeah, it's your last chance, guys, to get in while it's good, because it's literally barely barely getting started. The 30 to 46 cents is nothing. I'm telling you, once these banks get online and all this other stuff using XRP for on-demand liquidity, you're gonna see high prices. Because there is a limit. I mean, it's a high limit. Total supply is a lot. 100,000, 99 billion. 99 billion. But you gotta think. How many $99 billion? Say each one was $1. That's only $99 billion. There's way more money out there that these people are trying to solve than a $99 billion problem. Think about it. Brad Garlinghouse has come out. They're talking about $47 trillion problems and a $10 trillion problem. If money's just used for those two things, it's not in counting all the people holding, which is limiting the total supply. But if you got 57 trillion, you have a high priced XRP divided by the total supply. That's how you figure it out. So put 57 trillion in your calculator or your phone. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of zeros. Let me see how many zeros it is. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do 4 sets of 3, and then you're 57 in front of that. 57 trillion. Then you divide that by the total supply, which is going down due to the burn rate. This will give you like a general idea. It's not going to be exact, obviously. But if there's a $57 trillion problem people are getting solved, then this will give you a good idea. So you divide that by your 99 billion. Okay. And what do you get? Around a $500 XRP. $500. Okay. That's good money. So right now, 46 cents. You multiply that, just say by 1,000. You get around almost $500. You get $10,000 Bitcoin. Multiply that by $1,000. You get a $10 million Bitcoin. People are calling for a $10 million Bitcoin. Say you just get $10,000 Bitcoin at 500. 500x. It's 5 million. Do 10 million, 10,000 times 100. You get $1 million. Bitcoin is going to continuously gain in value because it's going to be the digital gold, guys. Okay? But everybody's going to be, all these banks and people daily are going to be using XRP to be sending across borders. And some people will still even use Bitcoin. But I think XRP, due to regulations, going to be, since they're following the rules, they're going to be the ones being used daily, which means their price is going to gain. So, even 46 cents times 100, that's $46. 100 times return, $46 times it. Okay. So right now, say you bought 1,000 XRP. It costs you under 500. Okay? So then your 1,000 goes to $46 a piece. Now you got 46,000. You could buy a car. Shoot, you might even be able to buy a house depending on where you live at. Not gonna be, a badass house or anything, but a good house, nice, decent. You could even do one of those modular homes. I've even thought about you getting one of those. Kind of like modern look, but cheap. A lot cheaper than paying a bunch of people to build your house. So, let's say it goes to 250 a piece. You still got your 1,000 crypto XRP. That's $250,000. 1,000 a piece. 1,000. You get $1 million. That's how easy it is. And like I said, doing that, it's easy to see that it could go up 100,000x on the price. Because people are going to be using it. And then if they're holding it even just to send to another party, they're still going to need more XRP in their purse to send to the next person before they get money back. The main solution they're providing is just instant transfers of money. They're going to be allowing people to convert. Okay, let me use this example. If you need to get money out of your 401k, for example, it takes weeks, days, takes a long time. XRP is going to allow us to have on-demand liquidity, meaning we'll be able to cash it out and see it in our bank or whatever wallet we have within seconds. So if you need some money from your 401 for whatever reason, say you wanted to pay your house off, you could just convert it over instantly and do it. You see how beneficial that'd be? You need the money now. You want to get something right then and there. Instead, you got to wait a week just for your money to get where you need it to be because of the old system. Guys, Bitcoin and XRP are gonna revolutionize the world. Just stop being so one-sided. Look at that. Beautiful. And if it can just hold 11, that'd be nice. It keeps hitting it, coming back to 10,800. A lot of people can be making money, but I ain't risking selling a Bitcoin for $500 increase or whatever. Value wise. Say you sold right now, it might not go down. It might not hit 10,500 again. It might just shoot up to 11.5. Then you're out of luck. So, that's gonna be happening to XRP soon. Once these automatically liquidity accounts go live, and you're like, well, it went to 50 cents. It's been going to 50 cents for the last couple of days, and then it's been dropping. You see right here, I'm a market analyst. 48 to 45, 48 to 47, and 48 to 45. That means it's probably gonna do it again. No, you're gonna be holding. You're never gonna you sell it, and then you're not gonna be able to get back in. It's gonna costs you the price of 2 XRP now to get back in. So what you sold for, you lost. Anyways, be prepared. Ship's about to take off. These little 50-cent bursts are that's just us, the one percenters. The people that barely even know about this are causing that little price rise. But then they're getting out. They're getting out of their positions. Some people see, I'm going to make 4 cents for every XRP I sell. I mean, eventually, yeah, it could add up, but you're still gambling on losing a lot of money if you're making just measly 4 cents. So, one day you're going to do that, it's going to shoot up to $1, and ain't never going back. Then it's going to shoot up to 5 and 10 and 100 and maybe 1,000. And those are the type of jumps I see for XRP happening. Just big jumps. Because they're going to, new customers going to go live. Bam. They just purchased billions of dollars of XRP worth. Price is going to skyrocket. New customer online. They're going to purchase more. Billions of dollars. New customer, same thing. Bam, bam, bam. It's going to shoot up. The days of this, they're going to run out of circulating supply to throw out there. We're halfway there, and nothing has even happened. And don't think that they don't have certain banks, early adopters, already holding XRP or about to. Once they sign these contracts, it might include so many XRP that they get transferred over to them. You didn't think about that, did you? So, when their escrow time comes for them to release them, they could be sending $1 billion to this bank, $1 billion to that bank. And then anything additional they need, they'd have to purchase over the counter or through the market. So you might not see price change instantly, but they're going to need more than $1 billion. And they're going to be needing more than like I said, they're halfway done with their total supply. That's gonna go quick. It's gonna go very quick. So, be prepared for the rocket ship. I think it's gonna happen like overnight, where people are just gonna be like, "Oh crap, we're at a $5 XRP." And they're going to want to sell and try to get back in at 2. It's not going to happen. Because these banks aren't just going to, like, sell their XRP to make a couple of bucks. They're holding it to use for utility purposes. So you're never going to get back in. Alright. That's all I wanted to say. So, you don't got a time machine? Yeah, then it's probably not a good idea to get out too early or to try to short it, because I'm telling you, a couple days, G20's coming up, Trump's big announcement, maybe. I don't know if that's even legitimate. Back, I'm telling you, big things. Alright, I'm going to end it there. Good luck, and see you on the other side.